I caught her cheating and forgave her. I told myself I'd never forgive myself if I let us fall apart over something as dumb as distance. The idea that we could just evaporate seemed stupid. We were that close. But I still acted on my paranoia. I called her and said I wanted her to move back in with me, that I couldn't take being apart anymore, that I felt us drifting. I can't even explain how awful the next moment was. I'd never heard her so sad. She was mortified, I could tell. Before she even said anything, she told me I'd hang up and never talk to her again. I said that wasn't gonna happen. Maybe that prepared me a little. I figured she cheated, but in the back of my mind I was like, maybe she got sick or something. The way she said it, I ruined everything forever, you know. Felt like forever. I was waiting for her to tell me she had HIV. Then she said she was a few months pregnant, and it wasn't mine. My heart just sank. I knew our whole future we'd planned was gone. I told her it'd be okay. That I loved her, that accidents happen. I just asked for a few details: how far along, if she was taking care of herself. Then I said, don't worry, I'll call you back, but I gotta go. After that, I went through our texts and emails to try and figure out when it happened. Assuming it was just once with one guy. The worst part? She cheated when everything seemed fine. We talked that day, had this hilarious email chain. It felt like such a betrayal. Believe me, it hurt. And a pregnancy that's serious. This wasn't just some blowjob. She was carrying some other dude's kid. What was my dream was just some random asshole's accident. Even now, I can't talk about the details without crying. When I called her back, I told her she was forgiven. I was honest, said I was hurt and I couldn't trust her anymore, but I wasn't cruel. She knew how hurt I was, but I think she was hurting worse. Both our dreams were gone, but at least I didn't have to live thinking it was my fault. I'll admit, I had some horrible thoughts and wanted to say some horrible things, but I didn't feel like getting revenge. When you love someone, you don't want revenge, you want to understand. I was just sad. This all happened a few years ago. Long story short, she had the baby, and he's awesome. I stayed around as a friend the whole time. We're still close friends today. I'm really glad I didn't go off on her. We're not together, that trust is broken. But I kept a friend, learned a huge life lesson, and so did she. I also got to practice loving someone when it wasn't easy. Yeah, thinking about the details makes me sad, but I'm happy she's still in my life. And I'm glad I wasn't mean to her when she was at her lowest. I'd regret that now. A little context, since people asked. The second she told me, it was over. She knew it, I knew it. That conversation wasn't about hurt feelings or bruised egos because I was talking to someone who was pregnant. I talked to her like I'd talk to any friend in a crisis. It wasn't about me or us anymore, it was about her and the baby. The worst thing I could have done was make her feel resentful about her pregnancy. For the baby's sake, it was important that from the very beginning there were no hard feelings around him even existing. Plus, she was already beating herself up like, really badly. I was worried. Even a half-assed cry for help could have hurt the baby. She didn't need to hear, "You're forgiven." She needed to hear the kind of words you'd say if you actually forgave someone. She needed a little grace. She never hinted she'd hurt herself, and she never held me emotionally hostage. Once she was stable, I stepped back until after the pregnancy, and she was fine with that. No mind games. I'm not a doormat, even if people here call me one. She turned into a desperate friend in that moment, so I acted accordingly. Protecting my pride was the last thing on my mind. I knew she was in a worse place, so I chose to help make sure her and the baby got through it okay. I'm strong, I bounced back fine. My little brother gets walked all over by meaningless women because his dick runs his life. I know doormats. I'm not one. And yeah, Someone said I'm being taken advantage of. I promise I'm not. No more than any friendship is two people taking advantage of each other. I set boundaries fast. Yeah, we're friends. But I've moved on. I've had a few normal, healthy relationships since then. Sure, telling the story still makes me a little sad, but it's really not a big deal anymore. I couldn't even tell you how I'm supposedly being taken advantage of. Anyway, no more replies from me. Thanks, everyone. I loved reading your comments. And just in case it's not clear, I'm not in a relationship with her anymore.